Welcome again to Joe Stun Unboxing. Guido Vianello of Italy has become a contender. Come from nowhere, really. Made huge quantum leaps in progress in his career, certainly in his performances. He stops Arslanbek Makhmudov it's after 7 rounds, so it's classed as TKO in 8 rounds. Doctor stopped the fight. This was an absolute beatdown. Vianello improved to 13 wins with 11 KOs, 2 defeats and 1 draw. He's 30 years old now. Plenty of time to get things done. Very big guy, 6'6", 79-inch reach. I think he's based in Vegas, but he's from Lazio, I think, in Italy. But I've been there, but only once. Yeah, but he's based in the US, and he's become a really good fighter. And, at the other end of the scale, you've got Mamedov, who until recently was considered to be an absolute monster of a fighter, and he looks it as well. I mean, again, you're talking 6'6", 6'5", 6'6" guy, based in Canada and Montreal, but originally from Russia. Facially looks very, like scary and big, thick neck and a huge lumbering frame. But I'm afraid if you ain't got the skills, this is boxing, not fighting, not wrestling. This is boxing, and you ain't going anywhere if you ain't got the skills. And Mamedov, I mean, he's 35 now, so he's had 2 defeats in his last 3 fights. The first was to Ajit Kabayel, who chopped him down in 4 rounds, knocked him down 3 times with body punches. Then he had a quick comeback win in 2 rounds, and now he faced Vianello, and he has been stopped. And it was the eye. It was his left eye, which was hideously swollen. I mean, from about the 4th round, it was shut, and the doctor looked at it twice and was giving him the old, how many fingers am I holding up routine. And Mamedov apparently answered correctly because the doctor let it go on, but the guy should have been pulled out because eventually the swelling was sort of spreading around almost onto the temple and all the way around the orbital bone, and it was horrible to look at. And he didn't get a look in this fight, Mamedov. I mean, Vianello completely controlled the fight. He wasn't just jabbing either. I mean, he was jabbing. He was, he was using those long levers to jab, but he was pinging that right hand over, and Mamedov couldn't get out of the way of it. And that's what caused the swelling. It wasn't the jab. It wasn't a clash of heads. It was the right hands that were doing the damage. And Vianello, I mean, when you consider the trajectory of his career, he was stopped in 7 rounds due to a cut eye, which was caused by a punch. That was against Jonathan Rice in January of 2023. And he then came back with a couple of wins over guys with, I think one of them was against Curtis Harper, who's just a journeyman. I mean, he's, respect to anyone who gets in the ring. But he then fought F.A. Ajagba, and it was a right old tear-up, and he lost a split decision. That was for the WBC silver heavyweight title, one of these things that gets you a ranking. But he showed an awful lot in that fight. And even though it was his second defeat, sometimes, if you put up a good performance against a leading contender, you can jump up in terms of prestige, in terms of maybe not in the rankings as far as the ruling bodies are concerned, but people will pay attention to you. And that's precisely what happened with this guy. The defeat to Ajagba raised his stock. So he goes in with Mamedov, and Vianello is considered, a good stepping stone for Mamedov to make his comeback. Not a bit of it. Vianello completely controlled this fight. He's an orthodox fighter. Like I say, he does use the jab very effectively, but he loves that right hand. There isn't a great deal to say about this fight because the rounds were very similar. Mamedov just sort of lumbered forward and doing a big mummy routine, trying to intimidate him, trying to put the pressure on. Completely one-paced. Didn't jab much. When he did, it was unconvincing. Guido winning the battle of the jabs, winning the fight as well as the boxing match. So it wasn't just the skills; it was the fight in Guido. During the I think it was the weigh-in, Mamedov said he was going to smash Vianello to bits. The opposite was true. As usual, if you can't intimidate someone, you've got problems. If that's your game, If you ain't got the skills and it's all done on brute strength or power punching, and you meet a guy who's got skills who can nullify your attributes, kind of like a bomb disposal guy, you know, diffusing the bomb. And then Guido, of course, Guido Vianello brought his own aggression, and it was aggression. It was controlled aggression. Unlike Makhmudov, it wasn't reckless. This was aggression based on skill, based on, like I say, hanging the right hands or maybe some hooks off the jab. You know, there was some thought going into it. With Makhmudov, it's always been rumble forward, intimidate the guy, chop him down, knock him out. But we saw what happened when he made that jump up against Ajit Kabayel. He got found out, badly found out, and probably found out, you know, mentally as well as in terms of a lack of technique, being technically limited. That wasn't the only thing that was revealed. He got found out in terms of, you know, ambition, motivation. You want to say heart, maybe. Yeah, Makhmudov, you've got to ask, where does he go from here at 35? Very difficult to see, really. Very difficult to see. In terms of Guido Vianello's career, I mean, he's, like I say, 30, so he's still young for a heavyweight. He can make progress here. He's going to be an avoided guy. He's going to be one of those high-risk, low-reward guys. But he's developed to a very good heavyweight. I've seen him fight. You know, I saw him 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and he looked like a half-decent European level fighter. Maybe like a Pianetta type, you know, won't be world class, but might be okay at European level. Now he's looking like he's a legitimate top 10 contender, or top 12 maybe, you know, but someone who people are going to avoid because they know they're going to get a tough night's work out of him. You can argue that he beat a Jagba. Good fighter. I mean, this guy's crept under the radar. He won't be used as fodder anymore. No one's going to say, okay, well, we'll use Guido Vianello as we'll feed him to person X, person Y, person Z. No more. Vianello might just become the A side now. So yeah, have a look at this fight, because I think it's all over for Makhmudov. Really, the mystique has gone. The intimidation doesn't work anymore. But have a look at Vianello. Tell me what you think. Let me know your opinions. Yeah, just whatever you got to say about these fighters. Who do you think Guido Vianello should fight next? That's an interesting question for you. Who'd have the bottle to fight him next? Because he's very much on the outside of the top echelon of the heavyweight division, looking in. But I think him versus Parker, or maybe Kabayel, because Kabayel, despite 2 fantastic wins, is still on the outside looking in as well. You've got that little inner circle of heavyweights. And then you've got pretty decent contenders trying to get into that inner circle, banging on the door. But let me know who you think he should fight next, Vianello. Comments below. Thanks for your time as always. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. It takes a second, costs you nothing, and you're helping the channel out. And if you like the video, hit the like button as well. Be generous, why not? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.